Now we are going to give you a little history about the course, just so that it's a more of an introduction about who we are, who I am. And I'm going to do this quickly so that, I don't bore you too much with it. But in my third year dental school, which was University of Damascus, okay, that was 2008 and 2009, I made a decision. My decision was I just decided and figured out that the dental school itself is not going to teach me what I needed to be a really good dentist. Okay, I just decided that. I figured it out. I understood that high marks in dental school don't equal good dentist either. Okay, you could just work towards marks without really being good at dentistry. So I took my education in my own hands and I created my own path. Okay, so what I did is first I thought, first of all, I need to learn oral medicine. Okay, I need to learn what is normal, what isn't normal in the mouth. So I did that. After that, I thought that my next step is people come to the dentist for three reasons: pain, function. So function is like if I can't eat, and then cosmetics, right? So I'm like, what's the most thing that everybody will always come for? Some people don't care about cosmetics. Some people don't even have teeth and they can still eat on their ridges and they don't care. But everybody will come for pain. Everybody. So I needed to be good at diagnosing pain. So I went through a lot of pain diagnosis concepts. Then I went through diagnosing and treatment of infections, because that's the worst thing first. Then after I figured this out, whether it's perio or endo, I thought, okay, next step would be restoration phase. So how do I restore? So fillings is something basic everybody learns in school. So I feel like I didn't need to put that in my schedule. But I did feel like I needed to understand occlusion and how to restore a single tooth, then a multiple missing teeth kind of case. So my oral medicine book that I chose was Burkitt's, which was really good in the presentation, I think, and organization. Endodontics, I chose Principles of Endodontics. And I also used books that were related to oral physiology to understand the pain on a deeper level. And that's what I did in my fifth year. So it took me a long time to read the whole book while doing dentistry. Then I came back to Canada because I lived in Canada before. That's why my English accent is kind of, sounds normal. So my family was already here and I studied here a few years. So I came back to Canada in 2011 and 12. That's when I started applying for the NDEB. Then I bought Carenza and I'm like, hey, now it's time to go to perio. And I bought Dawson. I actually bought this when I was in Syria. So I read about all the diseases that could happen here, treatment planning, classification, and I read about Dawson's, understanding occlusion. I kept 1 day a week from textbooks to kind of keep myself interested. Then I thought, okay, now it's time to look for the exam kind of stuff. So I bought Dental Decks Part 2, 10 cards a day, 1 card for each subject. I kept going. It took me 8 months to finish my first read of it. Then I'm like, well, there's this thing called Basic Science, and we are the only course that actually has a full kind of really good section for Basic Science. Because I did one of the most research on basic science when I was studying. So I went through all the basic science things and organized it in a beautiful way for dentistry, not only for dentistry, for AFK and examination and dentistry. So I looked at the cells and tissues that are in the oral cavity, focus on cells of the body, epithelium and connective tissue mainly. And I have these all topics, kind of even physiology, organized in a nice way. These are the basic science stuff I went through to kind of get all the information. And I reinforced it with some YouTube videos and also USMLE videos. If you guys don't know what USMLE is, it's the medical cap videos or the medical exams for medicine in the US. That's where I learned pharma from. So it was a lot of pharma in there, but what I did is I crossed it with the dental decks, and I took what we need as a summary for dentists and AFK. Pathology, dental decks part 2 was pretty good. It was a good summary, but as I said, I took the organization that's based on Burkitt's, and I put the dental decks information, and then I reorganized it based on that strategy. And patho, it's all about repetitions, man. So I'm going to help you with that as well. Occlusion, and I got it from Dawson's book, pretty nice. And treatment planning for missing teeth, I got it from Contemporary Fixed, and also how to restore a single tooth. We're going to talk about that. Obviously in the course, a lot more things, but just this is what I was studying at that time. Then I thought, Dental materials, I collected all the ideas from the Dental Decks Part 2, from Philip's Science and Craig's, plus what was in the questions to make a good organized information. I took the exam. Thankfully, I got 91 in 2013, and it took me a year to finish from 2013. I created these lectures to start with, and I started teaching for a company, one of the bigger companies as well, and I found that students really like my lectures. Okay, so I realized that everyone was confused about the same things I used to be confused by, and that my lectures were really helpful for students. So I decided to change in my third year, and now I have the solutions to these problems. So that's great. I felt really nice about that. That it came. There was like kind of a result to all my work. I got my license in 2014, and I started creating more lectures and teaching. And then I took a break from teaching where I wanted to focus on experience. So now you have someone that has this knowledge plus the experience. Not only that, I took a lot of courses during my work time in oral surgery, wisdom teeth removal, implants, occlusion, Invisalign, in IV sedation, nitrous oxide from UFT, medical emergencies from UFT, CBCT implants, and currently I'm doing an ortho course. I'm still practicing. I practice now in Hamilton. I created all the remaining lectures that I didn't finish yet, and some of the other companies still have a hold of some of my lectures. They're teaching them, but there's nothing I can do about that right now. But I still have these, and I prepared a course, my first course in 2017, and I liked it. This is something I like to do. I feel like it's something it's more rewarding for me, and I keep dentistry as well. So I made all my lectures into booklets, so they look like a book instead of printed slides, which makes it a lot more neat. So they look like this, right? So the first book is the basic science book. The second book is where you become the doctor, all right? So that includes pathology, medicine, basically, or medicine, pharma, anesthesia. I feel like that's the doctor book. The third book here is the green book, engineer, kind of like the engineer book. So this is where you learn resto, prosto, ortho, and dental materials. And then the fourth book is the surgical book. Okay, the surgical book is endo, perio, surgery, and x-rays, just because that's where we put it. So combining all those, we call this the foundations of dentistry. So what's our plan and schedule for the actual exam? Okay, sorry, for the course. Our schedule is tailored and crafted and designed, keeping the student experience in mind. We're not just doing the schedule based on our free time. We do it and then we make ourselves available. So we have to start first with basic science, guys. Okay, that's what we need to start. So learn it and relate to it. And relate it to dentistry. So we take basic science, then we try to relate concepts to the actual patho and pharma, okay? So that you become scientists. Remember, people here are scientists. They take university first, science, then they go into, into dental school. So like someone here not even taking dental school will know what dopamine is. You need to know what that is. So undergrads, and this is 2 days. And this will help almost all the other parts of dentistry, mainly pharma and patho. So you're a scientist, remember, before being a doctor. Then we get into the medicine stuff. Pharmacology, patient management, pathology, and anesthesia. And this will help you become the doctor, because patients expect you to know these things. You are a doctor before being a dentist. Remember that. A dentist is a higher level. It's a specialty of doctor. That's how I look at it. So don't let anyone tell you other. It's not a doctor is up, okay, and dentist is like a lower no, you're specializing in the most coolest area, the oral and facial area. I feel like that's the coolest area. The anesthesia is interesting. The joint is interesting. There's the only area where you have calcified tissue outside the body, which is the teeth. That's like, no one has that. It's a high specialty, okay? The engineering stuff comes after. Dental materials, you actually learn it in a way that you probably will be surprised when you see it. It's awesome. It's prosthodontics, resto, and then ortho. You'll learn. Here's kind of where you become more of a dentist, right? Because this is really dental stuff. Then I think as a surgical dentist, you need to know endo, perio, implants a little bit, oral surgery. And then you could say that you are really a doctor of dental surgery. Doctor of dental surgery, right? Awesome. So just to let you show how our course has been improving from when we first started, we always had lectures, questions, obviously Facebook support. We have a forum now, so that's better than Facebook support. So we don't really do that anymore. Final mock exams, online exams, alumni discounts. But look how much we've been adding. Now we have online videos recorded. We even have new ones just from a few months ago that are awesome. We're going to show you a live demonstration. We have online forums where you could go and research all the discussions that happened before your course and during your course. We have weekly online quizzes, so many quizzes, okay? Live seminars that we will be using during the course to make sure everything's all right after watching the videos. Installment plans as well. We're going to add that. So we do it for in-class people only. That's how our initial strategy is. However, we are going to start implementing it for online. It may be different for each. So when we do the installment plan, the benefit of paying full, okay, is that you get all the books all at once, so you could read them ahead. Now, if you pay installment plan, let's say, what we do is for our in-class students, we were giving them the books one at a time. So we kind of give them the basic science book, and then once we start pharma, we give them the pharma book, then because it goes with the payment plan system. Okay. Now for online, the strategy we developed to keep things organized and proper is that we would ship half the material in the beginning and then ship the second half afterwards. Okay, so half in the beginning. So the payment deposit would be half in the beginning, and then you could finish the other remaining ones. However, this depends on where you live as well. So if you live somewhere where shipping is really expensive, there may be additional costs for you. If you live somewhere where shipping is manageable, then it depends, right? So this is why we say it's a little bit more complicated for online, because we expand to the entire world. We are keeping it, we have to kind of see your specific situation. So if the shipping is too expensive to your location, then there will be an increased charge for the installment plan, but you still get that option if you want to pay in payment in like installments, basically, right? So it's still a good way. You'll get half the books and half the books, but there will be an additional fee based on where you live and based how much the shipping would be towards you. Now, if you pay in full, the shipping is already included in the price, which is $4,400 plus tax. Okay, so your initial shipping is included if you pay the full price. We ship the books to you and all the material. You get also a bag, bag and a notebook and a pen. So we try to ship that as well. And again, that's the price would be around $4,400 plus tax, and it's you could see the payment is online as well. So the shipping is included in that. And if you want to do installments, then we're doing 2 shipments. Then that way we have to charge you for the second shipping. Okay, because only 1 shipping is included inside the $4,400. So that's where the additional cost comes with the installment. Now for AFK, we recommend that. Where's the books? Oh, here. For AFK, so we have AFK and ACJ. Okay. Now ACJ, because it's important to see images, we print it in color. But for the AFK, so we don't charge extra, we will do it black and white unless you want it in color, but there's an extra fee for color. We don't recommend it. You don't need it for AFK. Like, look at the dental decks. The dental decks, they have a little color booklet, but just for pathology. It's not in color, you know what I mean? So any review book really for theory like this doesn't need to be in color, but if you really want it in color, there is the option to add color, and then there'll be an extra fee though. However, the ACJ, it comes included already because it's necessary there. Okay, just letting you know that. So Yeah, and shipping is included. We have question days in the live sessions. All right, so let's get to our demonstration.